Hello everyone, how are you all? Hope all of you are well in this pandemic situation. Welcome to my lecture series. Myself Rinki Bhoumik, Assistant Professor, Department of Physics, JIS College of Engineering. This is my paper name Physics 1, the paper code PH101, 3 credit lecture. There will be total 36 number of lecture will be there for all of you. 3 lectures will be per week. This is my 19th class. Today we are going to discuss about laser, though it's a continuation of laser. Today we are going to discuss about very crucial topic, that is population inversion. Laser basically works on with respect to the population inversion. If population inversion does not work, then laser cannot work. So we have to know what is population inversion. Population inversion is a process. First, this is the definition. Next, we'll discuss and I will explain by using some diagram. Now you first go through the definition of population inversion. It is the process of increasing excited electrons in higher energy levels. Due to this process, the production of laser is possible. As I said, that laser light actually produces due to by this process population inversion. The energy level between the ground state E1 and suppose the excited state third level excited state E3 is known as E2, means metastable state. In today's lecture also we will discuss about the metastable state also. By optical pumping, electrons from ground state jumps to excited state by absorbing photons. So these are some basic things which we have to know about population inversion. In this process, the excited electrons in higher energy level, means when suppose one electron is in the upper energy level, in any excited, suppose E3 in E3 energy level, an electron is there. Now if we apply some external photon on it, then it will get more excited and transition occurs. It makes transition from E3 to E2 by emitting some radiation, which may be from one photon, it may emit 2 photons. That means it is increasing the number of photons. By applying 1 photon, we are getting 2 photons. So this is also a process by which we can increase the number of photons. So this process is called population inversion, by which we can increase the number of electrons in the upper energy level than the lower energy level. What is the difference here? Actually, as we know that always electrons have the tendency to stay in the ground state. So the result is that population becomes higher in lower energy level than the higher energy level. This is the basic thing, but population inversion is such a process by which the number of electrons can be larger in the higher energy level than the lower energy level. Now this is a basic difference between a normal distribution and population inversion. As we can see here that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Total 7 number of electrons are in the ground state energy. In the first excited state, there are 4 electrons. and in the second excited state there is only one electron. Now by the population inversion process, when we have applied the population inversion process over here, then what happens? The number of electrons increase in this energy level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, whereas the number of electrons in the ground state energy is 3. So this can be only possible by the population inversion process. Now why and how actually this can be possible, I will discuss next. And here as we can see that 1, 2, there are only 2 electrons are here. So that's why, since it actually lies between these 2 energy level, that's why this energy level means, suppose this is E1, so this E1 energy level, suppose this is E0 or E0, this is E1 and this is E2. So this energy level E1 lies between these 2 energy level, that's why it is called as metastable state. So this is the basic figure of the population inversion, or in another word we can say this is the result of the population inversion. Now let me explain how actually it happens. Suppose this is ground state energy level, means level 1, this is level 2 and this is level 3. This is here n1 number of electrons are there with energy E1, n2 number of electrons are there with energy E2, m3 number of electrons are there with energy E3. Now suppose if we apply some energy E31, that means the energy difference between E1 and E3, then the electrons from the ground state energy will jump to the higher energy level. So when it jumps to the higher energy level, then after that it makes transition to the energy level E2 very fast, because the electrons can stay in this higher energy level up to 10 to the power minus 9 seconds. This is the lifetime of it. Okay. Now, and this transition is fast and radiationless transition. Now these electrons can stay more time in this energy level E2, because here the lifetime is some millisecond. So since the lifetime here is few milliseconds, that's why all the electrons will have the tendency to stay in energy level E2, where the number is N2 and the energy is E2. So this is about the metastable state, because in the metastable state, since the lifetime is higher than the normal energy state, that's why the number of electrons increases in energy level E2 than energy level E3. Therefore what we can say, that from the upper energy level and also from the lower energy level, the population increases in energy level E2 or in level 2. So that's why this is called population inversion process, because in population inversion process, by the population inversion process, the population can be increased in higher level, and in metastable state thus the number of electrons increases. So this is called population inversion. Now let me explain in another way. Suppose there are 4 electrons. So when we give some external photon on these 4 electrons in level 1, then they will absorb the energy and they make transition to level 3 very fast. And then since the lifetime is very low, so they will make transition to level 2 very fast, and they have the tendency to stay here more because here lifetime is millisecond. That means the transition from 1 to 3 is very fast, and also the transition from 3 to 2 is very fast, but from 2 to 1 it is slow. It is written here slow laser transition. So that's why finally what happens, that the population increases in level 2. Okay, so thus the population can be increased in the higher energy level than the lower energy level. So this is about the population inversion. Next, now this population inversion can be done by various processes. There is no technique. There is number of techniques for pumping a collection of atoms to an inverted state. The techniques are optical pumping, the first one, then it is electrical charge, then it is direct conversion. Now when photon of blue-green light incident on ruby crystal, electrons from ground state absorbs and excited and jumps on higher energy state levels and comes back to the metastable state. Just what I said in the last slide. They increase population of electrons in metastable state. This process is called optical pumping, which is done by flash tube. This optical, actually why it is written here, because optical pumping, in my last class I already said that ruby laser is a solid state laser, and this in ruby laser the laser light can be achieved only by applying optical pumping. So optical pumping is used in ruby laser. Okay, so we have to know more about the ruby laser. Next, what is optical pumping and population inversion? Both the things is written here. We now have to know it well. Optical pumping is a process in which light is used to raise or pump electrons from lower energy level in an atom or molecule to higher one. When the electrons return to their ground state, they spontaneously emit a photon. Population inversion is a reason a laser works. The spontaneous emission of photons is amplified by mirrors, causing a chain reaction and further stimulation of excited atoms to release photons. This is actually said about mainly optical resonators, which is also in your syllabus, and we will discuss elaborately about it. So this is about the optical pumping and the population inversion, where optical pumping, as I said several times, that it's nothing but a process in which light is used to raise the electrons. Light means actually, as we know, photon. Photon is applied on the electrons from lower energy level in an atom to a higher energy level. And when the electrons return to their ground state, they spontaneously emit photon. Population inversion is a reason where laser works. So this is about the optical pumping and population inversion.
I will make last 2
Now this is the diagram of optical pumping. Here it will be more clear if we use this diagram to understand. Now here, as we can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 photons are there. So in step 1, when photons we apply here on these electrons, then they will absorb this photon and they will get excited. So this is the first step. In the second step, what you can see, after absorbing this photon, after gaining this energy, these electrons will make transition to energy level E3, means this is the third energy level. Now obviously the photon must have the energy h nu 13. Why I am telling 13? Because nu 13 is the frequency between these two energy level E1 and E3. Now see, all these electrons make transition to the higher energy level E3. Now all the electrons are in this energy level E3. Now thing is that since the lifetime in this energy level E3 is 10 to the power minus 9 seconds, so it's very low. That's why they will not stay in energy level E3 but will make transition to energy level E2. But this will be non-radiative transition. Okay. So now this energy level E2 actually stays between these two energy level E1 and E3. Now the lifetime of this energy level E2 is few milliseconds, which is very large compared to 10 to the power minus 9 seconds. So that's why this electron has the tendency to stay in this energy level E2, which is called metastable state, and today also we'll discuss about the metastable state. After seeing the diagram, it will be more clear to all of you. Now you see, it's written here population inversion, which we discussed just few minutes ago. Now by this population inversion, what's the final result? As we can see that the population in the energy level E2 is higher than the lower energy level, which is generally not happen, but here it happens by only this process, population inversion. The population is higher in energy level E2 than energy level E1. So this whole process is called optical pumping. Now when these electrons make transition to the energy level E1, then they emit photon, which we call as laser light. In Ruby laser, this whole process happens by which we get laser light. This is called optical pumping. Now this is a process of the, this is a technique by to achieve the population inversion process. Now next, metastable state. As I said several times, metastable state, it is also the excited state having lifetime of 10 to the power minus 5 to 10 to the power minus 3 seconds, which is 10 to the minus 3 means 0.1 millisecond. So that's why, that means the lifetime is higher than 10 to the power minus 8 to 9 seconds. So it is the excited state, but lifetime is different. So the population inversion occurs only in between metastable state and lower stable state. The two states in between the population inversion occurs and laser is achieved. The upper one is upper laser level and lower one is lower laser level. So here a figure is given. As you can see, from one photon we are getting two photons. If the number of photon increases, that means we can say that the energy increases because the intensity also here increases. What is the relation between the energy and intensity? E proportional I E equal to, there is also a the relation between intensity and energy is energy per unit area, that is called intensity. Now here, since the number of photons increases, that's why also intensity increases. So metastable state has a big role. Without metastable state, the population inversion or the optical pumping technique cannot be applied. So whenever you are asked that what is the definition of metastable state, what you have to say that the state which has the lifetime 10 to the power minus 5 to 10 to the power minus 3 second, that is called as metastable state. Now there is another figure which is given here, energy of atom. Now this is the ground state energy level and this is the higher energy level, and this is the metastable state which lies between these two energy levels. Now suppose some electrons are here. Now energy of the atom. So when the energy is applied on this electron, they will get excited, and here the lifetime is 10 to the power minus 7 seconds. So they will not stay here and make non-radiative transition to this metastable state. Now finally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 number of electrons are here in this metastable state. Now they will make transition to the ground state by the emission of some photons. Now as you can see, by applying one photon, ultimately how many photons we are getting, that means intensity here increases. So this is the importance of the metastable state. Now what is the basic difference between a normal energy level state and or excited state and metastable state? The basic difference, as you have to say, that the lifetime here is 10 to the power minus 7 second and here the lifetime is 10 to the power minus 3 second. But also another difference is, you can say that the electrons make transition from excited state to metastable state, that is non-radiative transition. But when these electrons make transition from metastable state to ground state, they make radiative transition, means they emit some photons. So this is also a difference between metastable state and an excited state. Now let me do the summary of today's topic. First we discussed about the population inversion process, where we came to know that by the population inversion process, the number of electrons increases in the higher energy level than the lower energy level, and here metastable state has a big role. Next, this is the basic difference between a normal distribution and the population inversion. But in normal distribution there is no role of metastable state, but metastable state has a big role in the population inversion process. Next, this is the diagram which you can use to explain the population inversion process. Next, this is optical pumping, which we use in laser, that is ruby laser. It is a solid state laser where by which we can achieve population inversion process. Now this is about the optical pumping and population inversion. The whole definition is given here. You can use it. Next, this is diagram of optical pumping, which is almost similar to the population inversion, but here it is given in 3 steps, so you can use it to understand. This is the concept of metastable state. The definition is also given. This is the another diagram of metastable state. Now I am showing you a video which will help you to understand the full population inversion process, which actually discovered Einstein in 1967. Now let me show you the video.
The stimulated emission of light was a discovery by Einstein around 1916. All we need is an atom which possesses electrons just like any other atom in our world and a photon, that is, a quantum of light. The atom has electrons orbiting the atom's nucleus. For a better understanding, the Bohr model of the hydrogen atom will be used. The hydrogen atom has only one electron. The atom and the electron are on the ground state, namely E0. However, an electron may have other discrete values of energy. For this example, 2 energy levels will suffice, E1 and E2. An electron can be excited to a higher energy level by absorbing a photon whose energy is equal to the energy difference between the levels. The electron is said to be excited. However, after a very short time, the excited electron will go to the lower energy level by emitting a photon equal to the energy difference. This is called spontaneous emission. But when an atom absorbs a photon, and after a short time another photon is absorbed, stimulated emission will be the result. The newly created photon has the same phase, frequency, polarization, and direction as the second photon. So it's a copy. The operation of lasers is based on the process of stimulated emission. Here we will discuss a 3-energy level design. A photon is absorbed by the atom. The photon has enough energy to lift the electron from energy level E0 to energy level E2. Shortly afterwards, the electron jumps into energy level E1. This can occur without emission of a photon. A laser device is made up of several components. First of all, a mirror with a reflectivity of 100% is installed at one end of the device. Furthermore, we need a gas, a liquid, or a solid that serves as the gain medium and creates identical photons. Another mirror with a reflectivity of about 98% must be installed at the other end of the gain medium. Another part we need is an energy source in order to use photons to raise electrons from a lower energy level to a higher one, a process called optical pumping. Now, let's have a look at the inside of the gain medium. The atom and the electron are on the ground state. Now, optical pumping, that is, emitting energy in the form of photons, is used to raise the electron into a higher energy level. In this case, its energy level is E2. After a short period of time, the electron jumps into energy level E1 without emission of a photon. Consequently, the process of optical pumping cannot cause stimulated emission because there are 2 different amounts of energy present. The electron will maintain its energy level E1 for some time. Then, the atom will spontaneously emit a photon in a random direction as it relaxes to a lower electronic state. This photon may interact with an excited atom that hasn't emitted a photon yet. So, the photon hits the excited atom and causes a stimulated emission because the photon has the exact amount of energy to do that. Only photons emitted in a direction perpendicular to the mirrors will be reflected. The reflected photons initiate a chain reaction to produce more and more photons of the same kind. Furthermore, only photons with the same amount of energy and the same momentum will be part of the chain reaction. That's the reason why laser beams are strongly coherent and monochromatic. A very important aspect is the fact that many atoms must be in an excited state. For laser to work, more atoms must be in an excited state than in lower energy states. This is called population inversion. The semi-transparent mirror allows some of the laser energy to be emitted while bouncing most of it back through the laser. There are many other cool things about lasers, but for now, that's all.
So I hope the topic population inversion now it's clear to you. Now if you have any question you must ask. So thank you for today.